Alright, I gotta start off with a quick disclaimer. I am not really an expert on dog breeds, even though I did have some education and training in various dog breeds and the behaviors of some domestic animals. My words should not be considered the absolute truth. This is merely through personal observation and personal experience. I have not consulted with breed experts on this particular subject. This video is not about learning about dog breeds. It's about some behaviors that I've encountered in some various breeds that I've had the opportunity to interact with throughout my life. Pit bulls especially have a very bad rep. I have never once met an aggressive or unfriendly pit bull. The closest thing to an unfriendly pit bull I've met has been my neighbor's pit bull boxer mix. He's just very shy, and he was likely abused early on in life, but he's very, very friendly. Pit bulls, in my personal experience, and even in the origin of the breed, are very sweet and gentle dogs. Actually, what most people think of a pit bull are two breeds. The original being the Staffordshire Terrier, which is larger but not as broad or fully muscled. The Staffordshire Bull Terrier, which is smaller but has the wider shoulders and the kind of more aggressive look, which actually originated as a cross between a Staffordshire and a Bull Terrier. The target dog, if you're familiar with them. Bullseye. Bull Terriers, I haven't met very many Bull Terriers. I don't recall exactly the origin of Bull Terriers, why they were originally bred, but Staffordshires were bred to be child protectors. They were meant to be gentle, but as with any breed, it really depends on how they're raised and how they're treated, and certain genetic factors as well. I've never met, your typical guard dog breeds like German Shepherds, Rottweilers, Dobermans. I haven't met any really what I would call aggressive ones of those either. Somewhat maybe standoffish just because they are a little leery of strangers, but once they warmed up to me, I was their best friend. I haven't met any mean chows. Of course, I haven't met very many chows. I've met a number of chow mixes. Chows are the big, fluffy. They kind of look like bears a bit to me. They are known. I think chows actually are guard dogs. I don't remember. I've personally never met any really mean ones. The only actual mean dogs I've met have been the little tiny ones, Chihuahuas especially. I am terrified of Chihuahuas, just because my personal experience. I wouldn't say I've met very few friendly Chihuahuas. I've met a lot of friendly Chihuahuas. I've met a lot of very friendly Chihuahuas. I'd say more than not, I've met friendly Chihuahuas. But it has been the Chihuahuas that have been the most aggressive. A lot of people affectionately refer to it as little dog syndrome. There was also one small terrier mix that I met. I think he was more of a fear aggressive, that's, I think, a lot, in my opinion, a lot of the dogs that you'll come across who are aggressive, they're just scared. You think about it, they didn't have a very good start to life. Things scare them, they have a fight or flight response. If they're cornered, they're gonna fight. There was one bull mastiff that I met who wasn't mean. He was big, loud, intimidating, and not friendly, but he wasn't aggressive. He was standoffish. I was scared of him simply because I was aware of his size compared to me. I'm actually quite petite. And at the time I wasn't very experienced. I was just doing my internship. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it in any of my other videos. I'm a veterinary technician, certified, licensed, registered, depending on the state, veterinary technician, veterinary nurse. It depends on the state. In my state, we're certified veterinary technicians. Oh, there's Apollo now. My neighbor's pit mix. Actually, she has 2 pit mixes. They're both very friendly. The older one is Apollo. He's the boxer, pit bull boxer. I don't really remember what she said with the genetic test. Her younger one is Griffin. He does not look at all pit bull. She did a genetic test on him. He is an 1/8 to 1/4 pit bull. He looks like a lab pointer. But yeah, like, the typically, scary breeds, I personally have never met any unfriendly or mean individuals of them. German Shepherds make great pets. Again, it's how they're raised, how they're trained, and how they're treated. Your big goofy labs or golden retrievers, they're not generally not aggressive, but if they've been trained to fight, then fight they will. It's any breed, really. Even your typical rescue dogs, like what is it? The big Bernese Mountain Dog with the little keg of whiskey, which actually it really wasn't, but that cartoon, the big boof 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 dog, the brown and white. Trying to think if that's Bernese Mountain Dog or Saint Bernard. Either one of those two. Those are pretty typical mountain rescue breeds. They're called gentle giants for a reason. But if pushed, or if raised that way, or if they're in pain, any animal in pain, or scared, or if that's how they've been raised, or certain behavior it has been found, be influenced by certain genetics. But, those gentle giants can be, if anyone's familiar with, I believe it was Stephen King who wrote it, Cujo, the big friendly dog that gets rabies and goes on a killing spree. Maybe not that scary, but, and of course, with, what is it? Furious rabies. That's what people typically think of rabies. The foaming at the mouth, the aggression, the biting. Any animal with that form of rabies, it's going to be aggressive, even if it was the friendliest animal in the world. Doesn't matter the breed. So you really can't let a breed's reputation, cloud your judgment of an individual animal. You have to focus on the individual, and it really isn't fair to judge the whole breed simply because one group of people decided they liked this particular breed to fight. Part of the reason I believe that pit bulls are a popular fighting breed is because they look scary. There's a myth that a pit bull, when it bites, can lock its jaw. Actually, they can't. You are capable, if you are strong enough, of prying a pit bull's jaws open. Staffordshires just have very strong jaws. It does not lock. It doesn't. That's a myth. And even a fighting pit bull, I guess depending on how they're trained, can be kind of like a police dog. They can know when to turn it off. Again, it really goes into how they're trained. It's about teaching them the proper behavior, the desired behavior. It isn't a trait of the breed. Because like I said, your big guard dogs, your Dobermans, your Rottweilers, your Mastiffs, and your German Shepherds. You really, you can't, I mean, these are the dogs that, when they look at you, and then they'll determine whether you're a threat or not. Really, just about any dog, I think, will. Again, I'm no expert in it. I did have some education and training in domestic animal behavior.